If you enjoy what you hear here today, please consider supporting me on my Patreon page. Every dollar helps, and you get to see content that you won't see here. Switcheroo? By Skajarama and Tom117Z. Part 1. Oh, there you are, Discordos proclaimed with a grin as Discord entered his house with a flourish. He stood, marched over to his counterpart, and the two bumped their chests together in the ultimate sign of broship. I would never say no to meeting with the only ever most beautiful creature in the Omniverse, Discord replied with a grin. Indeed, our faces truly are the most beautiful things in all of creations. Even Rarity agreed, at least for a little while. Discordos then clapped his claws and paw together. Anyway, there is a reason I called you here, besides horsing around and chatting up the old times. He glanced over his shoulder at a photo album with a mouth and eyes labeled Old Times. What are you looking at, Shoo? Oh. The Old Times whined before fluttering off to do something else. Oh? What do you have in mind, my friend? Discord asked, conjuring a glass of purple juice of some description. Do you remember that one time? Oh yeah, I definitely remember that one time. A small bubble appeared above Discordos' head, convenient for all those who had no idea what Discord was talking about. Oh, of course! The nice one shall henceforth be known as Carissy. Which one is the nice one? Why does that drone look like the Princess of Friendship? Chrysalis demanded with more anger in her voice, pointing at a now very confused Princess Twilight Sparkle, just as the young changeling arrived. What? Carissy asked. That's my daughter, you cunt fucking bitch! There we go. There. All caught up? Discordos asked nobody in particular, crossing his arms more than a little smugly. Indeed we are, Discord replied with a smile and nod. So, what is the plan you have? What grand bit of chaos and mischief are we to perform this time? Well, we could take over the world like Gummy and Boulder keep trying to do. I have a different plan. Similar in premise to when we chucked Chrysalis and Toneshift into my world and watched all of that madness occur. Oh? Do tell. Discordos conjured up a bubble in which they could see a different world from either of theirs. You see, in this world over here, that darling little ball of ego, Rainbow Dash, was adopted by Princess Celestia as a filly. She currently lives with Twilight Sparkle in the Golden Oaks Library. The two are kind of like sisters. He turned a smile on his doppelganger. I would like for us to perform a switcheroo, if you will. Discord grinned eagerly, then paused and blinked. As much as I do enjoy messing with reality itself, shouldn't you be calling upon, the Discord in that world instead of me? Who knows what I'm missing out on with Fluttershy? We can rewind time, no big deal. Discordos waved off the complaint. True enough. But as it is, the Discord of this world is still stoned during the time period we want, so he won't be of any help to us. Discordos nodded to Discord. Which is where you come in. I would like for you to go in there and pluck Princess Rainbow Dash from the library, and then deposit her where the Twilight Sparkle in my world is sitting. At the same time, I will take Buggy Twilight from my world and put her where Princess Rainbow Dash was, effectively just swapping their places. Discord grinned. I like the way you think. Discordos beamed at the praise, his chest puffing up and up like a balloon until it popped, his normal chest being revealed to have just been hiding beneath. I am amazing. Now, just to clarify one thing, Discord commented, humming in consideration. This is Bug Twi as a princess, right? Or are we going to go full Queenie? Discordos snorted. Better make it Princess Twilight. Queen Twilight is too much of a hard ass for this to be funny. Too much like her mother. Well, her mother did... Stop right there, Discord Dos interrupted, Discord's mouth sealing shut. No spoilers now. Discord grunted. So, shall we begin? Discord Dos said slowly, tapping the tips of his fingers together. Discord humphed eagerly, raising his claws in preparation. 3, 1.
Twilight, did you eat my sandwich?
Rainbow asked quizzically, looking at her remarkably empty breakfast plate before shooting an irked glare at the innocent-looking lavender bookworm.
Nope.
Twilight chirped innocently, while pulling her book closer to her face. Rainbow grimaced before looking down at her plate, despondent. Then, her grin grew again.
You know, my sandwiches are pretty high in carbs, Twilight. So?
Twilight raised an eyebrow while peering past her book at the now foully smirking Rainbow Dash.
Well, you kinda sit around reading books all day. My sandwich is probably going to make...
A flash of light interrupted Rainbow's sentence. When the flash was gone, Rainbow had gone with it. In her place was a very confused-looking, insect thing that looked remarkably like Twilight.
What?
The bug asked.
You fat!
Rainbow finished her sentence while pointing a hoof forward mockingly. She then stopped when she realized she was no longer sitting in the library. Instead of pointing her hoof at the adorable book horse she so loved to tease, she was instead pointing a hoof at a rather perplexed-looking thing that looked very offended by that comment. She appeared to be sitting at a table in some kind of restaurant or maybe a cafe. Whatever the case, a chessboard sat between the wide-eyed Pegasus and the equally wide-eyed bug creature thingy. A large cavernous space sat outside the window directly to their side, and somehow, Rainbow Dash had wound up on the side of the board that was winning the game.
Rainbow Dash?
The giant bug pony thing muttered in apparent confusion.
Gah!
Rainbow Dash blurted out, immediately opening her wings and taking to the air. And getting a nasty bump on her head on colliding with a very solid ceiling. The bug just watched Rainbow Dash fall back to the ground, her perplexed expression never leaving for a moment.
Okay, as amusing as this is, Twilight, you can stop whatever prank you're playing now. What in Mom's name are you?
Rainbow Dash shouted out, though her alarm seemed to be slowly turning into anger.
Did you phone at me? Where's Twilight? I'll tell Mom on you. How childish.
The big bug deadpanned.
Seriously, you can both stop it now and stop acting like you don't know who I am. It's really annoying. I don't know who you are!
Rainbow yelled, throwing her forelegs wide in exasperation.
Where am I?
Any other patrons of the cafe were quickly vacating, all of them very insect-like in appearance. They cast nervous glances towards the bug and Rainbow, soon leaving the two of them alone. The bug seemed to concentrate for a moment, her eyes narrowing and her head tilting slightly, almost as if she were having some kind of internal conversation. And then her eyes widened again, but 30% more than before. Why 30%? Joke is 20, Discord remarked with a frown. Because I like to go one step beyond, Discord Dos commented cheekily. A small bit of panic seemed to be setting in upon the thing at the table, and her agitation did little to help Rainbow Dash's ease return.
I can't find her,
the bug muttered, and then suddenly shot up from the table and crossed the distance between her and Rainbow Dash.
Why can't I hear her? Here who? Weird, sharp-toothed bug thing?
Rainbow asked, suppressing the urge to gulp at the sight of all those fangs.
Twilight Sparkle, my daughter! Who else, you rainbow-haired turkey? I'm not a turkey, you're a chicken,
Rainbow deadpanned, though immediately regretted it as the bug's eye twitched.
I mean... Wait. Did you just say Twilight was your daughter? Well, of course. Or did you forget everything that has happened in the past year?
The bug exclaimed in increased exasperation.
Last year?
Rainbow raised an eyebrow.
In the last year, I moved to Ponyville with Twilight from Canterlot, got the elements, and now I work as a volunteer with the weather teams.
She blinked.
Volunteer? Oh, yeah. Apparently it's not exactly proper protocol for royalty to have a commoner's job.
Rainbow pouted.
Sucks, really.
Something seemed to be dangerously close to fizzing out in the bug's brain.
Royalty? You? The egocentric Pegasus who apparently represents loyalty?
Rainbow huffed.
Egocentric? Yeah, I guess you got me there.
She conceded before frowning.
Why are you so surprised? This has been a thing for like 8 years now. Have you been living under a rock this whole time?
She then looked up at the roof, which was very rocky indeed.
Looks like it. It's a complex series of caverns making up a hive structure,
The bug shot back.
And in the last 8 years that has not happened. You and Twilight only met at Ponyville, and we met when I attacked Canterlot with a legion of drones. You what now?
Rainbow asked, taking a step back.
I'm pretty sure I'd remember a siege on where I live. Mom would never shut up about it if something like that happened.
The bug simply did not seem to know what to make of any of what Rainbow Dash said, only for a small tilt of her head to suggest the proverbial light bulb had lit up.
Maybe I'm thinking too much of this. This really is some stupid prank you and Twilight decided to pull on me, but...
The bug sighed.
What year is it?
And when Rainbow Dash reluctantly told her the year, the bug only seemed to be more and more resigned.
Of course. These things always happen to her,
she muttered.
Okay, in short, you are a year in the future. The Rainbow Dash I know is not royalty, thank the hives, so I must surmise you're from an alternate cosmic timeline.
Rainbow Dash blinked while tilting her head.
Okay, now I can suddenly believe that you're her bug mom. Seriously, it's like looking into a mirror to the past with my daughter.
The bug deadpanned.
Also, not a bug. Changeling. Say it with me. Changeling. I'm not deaf, you know.
Rainbow snorted in offense.
And I am Chrysalis.
Chrysalis continued, not listening to the young upstart.
Queen of the Badlands Hive and mother to Princess Twilight Sparkle. Now you are clearly not the rainbow I know, so let's start again. Who the fuck are you?
Rainbow cringed.
Yeah, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? My mother got eaten by a dragon. Oh. Yeah. Sorry.
Rainbow rubbed the back of her head sheepishly.
Well, I'm Princess Rainbow Dash, adopted daughter to Princess Celestia, though please don't use my title. Seriously, it makes my skin crawl. Adopted?
Chrysalis said questioningly.
What? Did Windy Whistles and Bow Hot her? Yes, they did.
Rainbow quickly cut Chrysalis off.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Oh. Yeah. Sorry.
Chrysalis apologized, suddenly feeling like history just repeated itself.
Deja vu?
Cardus commented over the hive.
Are you listening in on this?
Chrysalis demanded, her face turning into an annoyed scowl.
No.
Cardus shied.
You're grounded.
What? But I'm not even related to...
Chrysalis shut her captain out and returned her attention to Rainbow, who noticed the scowl on her face.
Forgive me. My captain was spying on us.
Chrysalis remarked with a stern and disapproving glower directing out the window.
Oh.
Rainbow blinked and then looked around a bit.
Okay, now that I'm not freaking out, gotta admit, this place of yours is kinda cool looking. Not enough colors, though. We're changelings. If we wanted to be seen, we would use colors, but we evidently do not.
Chrysalis pointed out and then snorted.
Honestly, who could ever imagine a changeling race as colorful as ponies?
She has no idea.
Discord chortled. Rainbow lifted a forehoof.
Me.
Chrysalis cringed.
Well, clearly you don't know us very well yet. Well, not that this hasn't been fun,
Rainbow started, inching closer towards the door.
but I should probably go home now.
Chrysalis rolled her eyes.
If I knew how to send you back, I would have punted you home the moment I laid eyes on you. I am a queen, I am very busy, and you are an annoyance. That's rude. You appeared out of nowhere, and now my little nymph is missing.
Chrysalis pointed out with a small snarl.
I get to be rude. Well, okay, and here I thought things had calmed down.
Rainbow muttered under her breath before shrugging.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just as confused as you are. So you go ahead and fume some more, and I'll go actually do something. Bye.
And then she bolted through the door, leaving Chrysalis to stare at the exit in surprise. And then the changeling queen just sighed.
Could one of the couple thousand guards in this place please glue that Pegasus to the ground? I have a feeling I'm going to need her.
If I do it, will I become ungrounded?
Cardus asked, snark clear in his voice.
Cardus, shut up.
Okay, this was not how Rainbow Dash saw this day going. So she decided to do a mental checklist, Twilight style, of all the things that had cascaded her into the position in which she now found herself. 1. A simple teasing session between Twilight and herself. 2. An angry bug queen in an alien environment in, if Chrysalis was to be believed, an alternate whatever. 3. Attempting to flee to the clear sky she could see above this massive hole in the ground, then slamming into what turned out to be a shield covering said hole and crashing. 4. Being tackled by a jillion guards and glued to the floor with some green stuff. Yeah, Rainbow Dash was not having a good day. She did know she would find some way to blame Twilight for it all. She was certain of it. Now she was surrounded by numerous changelings all glaring at her and eyeing her cautiously. She would have given them all a sarcastic wave, but all of her legs were still kind of stuck in what she could only assume was changeling mucus, so she just opted to stand tall and try to look as regal as she could. Not the worst attempt Chrysalis had ever seen, but a far cry from the other royalty she had met. The queen in question was about to ask Rainbow something when one of her guards pinged her over the hive.
My queen, you said you have Rainbow Dash held in the atrium, right?
Yes, why?
Because she just walked in through the front door with the rest of the element bearers.
Oh shit.
Odd, Discord noted. I don't remember the element bears visiting last time we did this. We were so focused on the Chrissy cat fight that you clearly didn't notice them. Discord Dust explained. Ah, I see, that makes sense. Okay, continue.
Shit,
Chrysalis began to panic, just a little bit.
Just hide her!
She pointed a hoof at Rainbow Dash.
Wait, whoa!
Rainbow began to question, although her words devolved into a panicked shout as a drone picked her up and pulled her into the air. The drone looked around for a moment.
Where exactly?
I don't know, just stick him behind a tapestry or something!
Chrysalis shouted, then paused.
That felt oddly familiar.
The drone nodded and then zipped over to a tapestry hanging up over a balcony. Rainbow struggled a bit now that her legs were free, but then the drone stopped and audibly gulped.
Uh-oh. Huh?
Rainbow asked. Wait, no she didn't. Did she? It was her voice, but she didn't say anything. Slowly, Rainbow looked and saw herself standing on said balcony, looking up at her. She pointed.
Nice taste in disguises, but you can drop it for now. The real me is here. Oh no.
Chrysalis groaned from the ground floor, her eyes twitching under their lids. Rainbow stared at herself for a good long moment.
I'm not a changeling,
she finally managed. The drone simply nodded. The other Rainbow lifted into the air, floated up to herself, and looked her over.
You're right. No changeling could possibly be able to match the perfect subtleties that is my awesome. Oh my word.
Chrysalis groaned out again before starting to buzz up towards them. Then, something crashed. Everyone paused and looked around.
What was that?
The drone asked worriedly. Both rainbows then looked off to one side, staring dumbly at a crack appearing on the surface of the wall.
They
said in unison.
Is that new?
Oh, again? Discord whined. Yes, I am afraid so. Discord Dos pouted. The crack then grew exponentially, revealing an odd amalgamation of energy behind it. Through the swiftly glowing hole, Rainbow, the real one, spotted a truly odd sight. She saw the interior of the Golden Oaks Library, with a changeling version of Twilight laying on her back on a metal examination table, with Pony Twilight standing over her. Both wore way too excited grins on their faces. Also, Pony Twilight was holding a pokey stick in her magic.
Poke me!
Changeling Twilight proclaimed.
Poking!
Twilight answered. Twilight? Everyone else cried at once, including the newly arrived rest of the group. The two Twilights looked up. Princess Twilight blushed and waved at Chrysalis.
Hi, Mom. I can explain? This is one fetish I didn't need to know about,
Chrysalis muttered, face heaving heavily.